There's real intrigue heading into the spring game. What will Arthur Smith's offense actually look like?
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Jay Stephens. During today's show, we will be joined by Spencer McLaughlin of Locked On College Football as him and I have a crossover to dive into Ohio State spring games, to things that are intriguing, some players to watch, and some notes and things that popped into Spencer's head while we talk about the Buckeyes annual event to close off spring practice. So sit back, relax, enjoy some laughs, as Spencer and I talk about the Ohio State spring game that is right around the corner.
Can the number one team in S&P Plus actually have legitimate questions to face in the spring that can get answered? Well, to find out, Jay Stephens of Locked On Buckeyes is here to discuss, because on paper, Jay, this is one of the best rosters in all of college football. ESPN's Bill Connolly and his metrics believe that's the case when looking at things like recruiting rankings, returning production, and what you've done over the last season or so. And I tend to agree, even though a lot of guys are going to be taken in the first round from Ohio State's team a year ago. Arvell Reese, maybe Sonny Styles, probably Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, they're all going in the first round. But this Ohio State roster is still stacked. So are there any legitimate, major, looming questions that Ohio State's trying to figure out right now?
Ooh, that word major popped into my head. When you said that, I got to go to the offensive coordinator, because we don't know what the offense is going to look like right now. You get a glimpse of it during pockets of spring practice, but Arthur Smith coming in, working with an established quarterback, an established offensive line, an established receiver in Jeremiah Smith, who's the best player in the country. Those are great weapons, but you don't know how he's going to utilize those players on a given Saturday. And so I think maybe the biggest question is what is the offense going to look like? And that's not just for myself. You ask any Ohio State fan, what coach are you most concerned about? Or are you worried about? It's Arthur Smith. Is he going to adapt to college football to what Ryan Day has done and built in Ohio State? Or will he bring his offensive philosophy, his offensive mentality from the NFL to Columbus and force Ohio State to adapt to his ways? I think you have to mesh the two philosophies and mesh the two schemes to get something that's going to work right now. But we really don't know what it's going to look like. And so, yeah, the main thing to me is the offense. What will it look like on Saturday?
See, here's the thing. And the Buckeyes, as you mentioned, play their spring game on Saturday. When I was thinking through what we were going to discuss in this segment, I knew Arthur Smith would come up, but I don't think that's a question you can actually answer in spring ball, because everything is vanilla, somewhat simulated. You can get at least clues to answers or outright answers about players or position groups. I think it's really difficult, dare I say impossible, to actually know, because what is a coordinator's top three jobs? Number one, game planning. Number two, play calling. Number three, adjustments. Like that's what ultimately matters. You can't learn any of that.
No. You can't.
In a spring game. And look, it's just an opportunity, a spring game, which I think are great. I'm glad Ohio State's having one. I hope everyone across the country sees their value, and they have started to wane in some places. And I think that's too bad, especially in an age where it's hard for a lot of fans to see college football in person. The spring game is a very accessible way financially to do that. And logistically, it's usually easier because the stadium isn't going to be sold out. So I think that what you can learn is very player driven. So in that vein, are there players or position groups that you're particularly keeping an eye on through spring?
D-line is the first one that comes into my head. You're losing Kayden McDonald, who's probably going to be a first-round pick this year. You're losing Caden Curry, who led the team in sacks last year. Losing Tyrone Malone, who doesn't get talked about a lot. He might be a late day 3 pick, but he was a very solid piece on the interior. You're bringing in some transfers from Alabama and Quay Russaw and James Smith. You still have Edric Houston, still have Will Smith Jr., Ebby Centinelli, who's a second-year guy who is going to be probably slept on by a lot of people, but he could be someone to compete with Zion Grady and Bo Atkinson to compete on the outside to start opposite Kenyatta Jackson. I know I just listed a lot of names. There's only really one spot that's solidified as a definite starter. That's Kenyatta Jackson at defensive end at the edge. The other 3 spots are up for grabs. So you have some transfers coming in. You have some guys that already know the program, know Larry Johnson. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch on Saturday to see what guy jumps off the field. What guy do you see clearly has taken the next step and is separating himself from the other guys in the room? To me, it's D-line on defense. On offense, to me, I'm looking at the running backs mainly because you're losing. You won't have Bo Jackson, Isaiah West. They're out. Legend Bay might not play as a hamstring injury. And I believe there might be another running back that might not go. So you're looking at just straight depth pieces. How do those guys play? Are they timid? Are they shy? Are they bad in pass pro? How do they play? And so the running backs is not so much the top end guys. It's how is the depth? How deep is the room? If those guys that are 3rd, 4th, or 5th in the room, but are getting the bulk of the carries of the snaps in the spring game, if they make big names for themselves, if they make big plays, you're going to feel very comfortable about a room that is very young and inexperienced. This episode is brought to you by Rouge Yet Ready. The NHL playoffs are here, where every shift matters, every moment is intense, and the pressure is at its highest. And just like performance matters on the ice, it matters off the ice too. That's where Rouge Yet comes in. Rouge Yet offers treatments designed to help you get ready and stay ready when it matters. Their top option, Rouge Yet Ready, combines clinically proven ingredients and a simple mint that dissolves under your tongue. It works fast, often in about 15 minutes, and can last up to 36 hours. And they also offer Go Long, designed to help you with both performance and control. It's all about confidence and feeling like yourself again. Head to rougeette.com/LockedOnNHL and to get 15% off your ED treatment. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL for 15% off Rouge Performance Medicine for Men. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Rocket Money. If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can feel overwhelming. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It tracks all your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. It automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going. And you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and get you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Once again, that's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon.
And just to be clear, Bo Jackson is expected to be out for spring, but not the season, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and he'll probably be Ohio State's number 1 guy. Is that the general consensus?
Yeah, he's a starter. Absolutely.
The other guy that I want your update on, though that would imply I've asked you about him before, which is a shame that I haven't. Anyway, Chris Henry Jr. could be the next great Ohio State wide receiver prospect, 5-star coming out of the great state of California. And he, along with Jeremiah Smith, make one of the most physically imposing tandems in all of college football on the perimeter. And Julian Sayin, this is going to shock a lot of people, has an elite array of targets to throw the ball to. I know. First time Ryan Day's ever given his quarterback some decent support on the perimeter, but they finally got it. So what have you heard so far about the 5-star true freshman?
Oh, man, he's everything you thought he was going to be. The expectation right now is for him to be a day 1 starter, but they're pushing him. They're challenging him every single day to get better, to get sharper running your routes, to be more physical at the point of attack when you're blocking on the perimeter, to just be better in every single area. Now, he is a true freshman. He's only gone through, I think, 12 practices so far at the time of this recording. So he doesn't know what it's like to play on a college football Saturday. But he knows what it's like to go up against Jermaine Matthews, Devin Sanchez, these highly sought after corners, guys that are going to be future NFL draft picks. He knows what it's like to go up against those guys in practice. And I guess one of the benefits for him as a freshman is that you're going up against future NFL players. I'm going to throw Brock Boyd in this as well. Brock Boyd from South Lake Carroll High School in Texas. Spencer, he's a guy that you wouldn't look out there and say he's fast, but his nickname is White Lightning, and he has done a lot of good things out there on the football field that has made a lot of Ohio State fans and players really believe that he is the guy to be the next guy. Now, he's not in the top 5 in the receiving room, but if he's number 6 as a true freshman, and if he can join Chris Henry Jr., not as a starter, but in that main rotation of receivers, the Buckeyes are doing a lot of things correctly. I worded it that way on purpose. I knew it was going to shock you when the nickname came out there, but here we are. Let's have some fun.
So he's Ryan Switzer out there? Is that?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. You're a smart man. You're really good at what you do.
Yeah, I try to be. Well, he's a member of Oregon's coaching staff now, Ryan Switzer. He is he's an offensive analyst, I think, is his official role. But that's as perfect of a note as we could possibly end the show on. So we'll keep an eye on Chris Henry Jr., see if he stands out, the defensive line, and I think we know what we've got with Julian Sayin and with Jay Stephens. Locked on Buckeyes. Appreciate the time as always, my man. That's it for today. I appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.